Travis Mangoodzo. We have got a sufficient number of comment replies on the one channel at least to do a comment reply video, but having problems adjusting it on the screen here. So the first one, hopefully it doesn't do a, because I noticed on my tower computer, if I put the page over, it did weird things to the picture. So I'm gonna have to do it anyway. I'm uploading, I just begun uploading the 3 videos, so we'll see when this one gets put up. I can do a part 2 for the other channel if there are other comments on that one. The first one is by a guy who's commenting to another guy. Now I understand what he's saying. No, guys, stay away from my commenters. Unless you're being nice and trying to help with the conversation. He's criticizing the thumbnail of a previous commenter who is a critic of the church, obviously, in his comment, but I had to correct him, and that gave rise to the video that I did about ex-Mormons needing to get the facts straight for spreading around the lies that the church themselves want being told. So no, I'm not going to allow this. That's right, I forgot. That shouldn't cancel the recording here. So we're going to ban you on that one. Here's another one from and I don't know how they were able to cross out. I would love to know how to do that. But it says, how can I talk to Mormons, which is crossed out, about their Book of Mormon, BOM, without insulting them regarding all the errors in their book? Yeah, I mean, seriously, Mormons, get over yourselves. People have questions. You can't just get angry and demand and extort people to accept the Book of Mormon as literal history and the lies that you tell everybody. You know, it's just, get over yourselves. Is there a YouTube video about what really happened at the Carthage jail? Yes. Yes. Me. Since the LDS only have one version of it, that might have been revised. No, it's a complete and utter lie. They manufactured the whole story, because they picked and choose from both John and Willard's, which contradicted each other. And so it's 2 different stories from either account of those guys as well. And they contradict the actual eyewitness of the thing that was in the court testifying to what he saw. There are so many issues with this 200-year-old religion. Yeah, it's because it's corrupt. So how does one talk to LDS when there is so much of their history that they do not want the public to know? I'm thinking is the word he's missing here. So yes, I will give a check on that one. And there it is. And Carthage Jail. Let's see if it's on TWG. Bum, 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 bum. Revisiting the assassination 1 year ago. It's got pictures and stuff. That could be a good one. And then LDS Church sends me second death threat for defending Joseph Smith. 2 years ago. Let's stick with revisiting. It's an hour and a half long, back in the good old days of videos. But I'm guessing it has pictures. And I don't allow anybody to like or dislike it. It's during that phase, huh? Oh, look at that. Who is that clean-shaven man?
We're going to revisit
A low volume? That's
the inverted pentagram.
weird.
Yes, it's going to make Mormons uncomfortable.
Oh, I forgot I put that one in there. Hilarious. Oh, perfect.
Hour.org.
Okay, that excellent video. Visiting the assassination of Joseph Smith Jr. Okay. Hope that helps you. Because I go over the forensic evidence, show that the claims are not conforming to the forensic evidence. People are lying. Dun, 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 dun. Here's a person who's claimed to have talked to me when I was a Jesus believer. Let's see. Interesting history regarding Joseph Smith Sr. Do you have a link or what you are saying here? Upon the Illuminati infiltration of the Masons, etc., and brotherly fraternity of Masonry. Cell phones suck, guys. I mean, it's a new language, but it's one that creates many errors. And it's still in the beta phase, I guess we should say. If you could put links in your posts, I would appreciate that, so I read them for myself. Now, wait a minute, you're contradicting the Mormon, the other Mormon, who said that it's clickbait if I put links and it's a distraction. And it means that I'm wrong if I put links. Publish this book that you say Joseph Smith Sr. published of what, the 116 pages. Yeah, I would love to get a whole bunch of stuff done. I'm so far behind. I mean, I still have to set up the website and thus have stuff for the website. I still have to, and part of that would be to get to the Paleo-Greek and the Greek and the Aramaic and the Proto-Sinaitic and correct those languages. Then I would need to get to the Egyptian and fill in the sign list that all Egyptologists have missed. For example, facsimile number 1 of our Book of Abraham, where are those signs in the sign list? They're not in there. Why aren't they in there? Because nobody knows that they're supposed to be translated. They're supposed to be translated. I figured it out. Having deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, I then learned, oh, no, these characters are also supposed to be translated. They're not translated. That's strange. Why didn't Egyptologists who have PhDs and are in the lead in their field not doing this? Thus, I deciphered the characters not not deciphered or put in the sign list. So, yeah, but what you're asking me to do is do professional publications, videos. That's not going to happen on my channels. That's not the intention of the channels. If you go to my publications, you'll see that kind of stuff. Or watch my long videos where I go over it with you and we discover together. Well, you're only watching after I do the discovery, but still, you see how I do things. And that you're asking me to redo all my videos, and it ain't gonna happen. And so you need to understand how I do things then, so that you can do them for yourself rather than have somebody else give you all the information for you. Because you can do it yourself. You're asking for me to provide you with the links, but that's what I had to do. Was nobody provided me the links. I had to do the investigative research. And so when I find the different information regarding Joseph Smith Sr., let's see, and I think I did link you, didn't I? Because alright, how are we doing on? We got 15 minutes for the first video on the first channel to be finished uploading. Alright, so let's should we start with William Morgan? Let's do anti-Masonry. And then we'll do movement because it pops up on Google search. And we'll click on Wikipedia. Okay, anti-Masonry, called anti-Freemasonry, is avowed opposition to Freemasonry, which in some countries and among various organized religions, primarily Abrahamic religions, has led to multiple forms of religious discrimination, violent persecution, and suppression. However, there is no homogeneous anti-Mason movement. You mean anymore? Anti-Masonry radically differing criticisms and organized blah blah blah. Early anti-Masonic documents. Political anti-Masonry, the Americans, that's the one we want. The Americas. There it is. In 1826. Okay, so you're just studying Masonry. This has nothing to do with the church. You're just on your own, willy-nilly, deciding, I'm going to study Freemasonry and learn about anti-Masons, because you think they're satanic and of the devil and blah, 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 whatever you are doing it for. So you come across this. In 1826, William Morgan disappeared from the small town, an error, of Batavia, New York, Canandaigua. Oops. Because under William Morgan, that is corrected. So you can see that they're providing you with false information depending on which page you go to. He was presumed to be kidnapped by Freemasons, and he was never found, so nobody knows what happened to him, and murdered after threatening to expose Freemasonry's secrets by publishing its rituals. No. Because the book that the Batavian Press did publish was about the first 3 degrees, which everybody knows, and they allowed people to sit and watch even if you weren't a member. And so that it wasn't a secret, but it was symbolic. Morgan's disappearance sparked a series of protests and suspicion against Freemasonry, which eventually spread to the political realm. But, of course, obviously, you're reading this, you trust whatever they tell you to believe. And so you don't know that there's going to be a conflict. So you go and click on William Morgan. And then as you're scamming through the contents, military service, marriage and family, book, disappearance, aftermath, the anti-Masonic movement, monument to Morgan, representation in other media, see also. Where's the... Do they not have the church in this? Huh. Yeah, they don't have the church involved with this page. That's strange. Did they take it out, or is it another place that I'm thinking of? Oh, there's the church. There it is. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it's one paragraph under Aftermath, the anti-Masonic movement. Members of Freemasonry criticized the Mormons for their adoption of Masonic rituals and regalia. In 1830, Morgan's widow, Lucinda Pendleton Morgan, married George W. Harris of Batavia, a silversmith who was 20 years older. And if you don't understand why, I'd have to explain the whole cultural society back then and the laws of the land and the Constitution. After they moved to the Midwest, they became Mormons. By 1837, some historians believe that Lucinda Pendleton Morgan Harris had become one of the plural wives of Joseph Smith, founder of the Latter-day Saint movement. She continued to live with George Harris. After Smith was murdered in 1844, she was sealed to him for eternity in a rite of the church. That's why it's assumed. So, no, she wasn't. By 1850, the Harrises had separated. There's the baptism. Okay. When George Harris died in 1860, he had become excommunicated from the Mormons after ceasing to practice with them. Yeah, this is Brigham's organization, you understand. This is not Joseph's, this is Brigham's. They went with Brigham, but he got excommunicated. That year, Lucinda Morgan Harris was reported to have joined the Catholic Sisters of Charity in Memphis, Tennessee. So yeah, they had no interest in Brigham's church. Where she worked at the Lay Asylum, she had been widowed 3 times. In 1841, the Mormons announced their vicarious baptism of William Morgan. 1841. William Morgan was one of those baptized for the dead. But still not tying it to Canandaigua, are they? As one of the first under their new rite to posthumously offer people entrance into Brigham's church. Because it wasn't that name under Joseph in 1841. So that's all they talk about with Mormons. That's it. That's as far as those who have done research on this subject know about. It's me and only me who's been telling you this other information under disappearance. Okay. On September 11th, 1826, Morgan was arrested for supposed non-payment of a loan and allegedly stealing a shirt and a tie. According to the laws of the time, he could be held in debtor's prison until restitution was made, which would have made it more difficult to publish his book. He's working on the book and talks about it. We don't know what's in the book. They're speculating that it has to do with the rights of Freemasonry because of the Batavian Press publishing it. with his name. Morgan was jailed in Canandaigua, not Batavia, Canandaigua. He disappeared from Canandaigua. And when Miller learned of this, he's the Batavian Press owner. He went to the jail to pay the debt and secure Morgan's release. Morgan was released, but then rearrested and charged with supposedly failing to pay a $2 tavern bill. $2.68 for being a glass looker. $2 tavern bill. They were not going to let him get out of jail. They were going to keep rearresting him over and over again. While the jailer was away, a group of men convinced his wife to release Morgan. They walked to a waiting carriage, which arrived 2 days later at Fort Niagara. Shortly afterwards, Morgan disappeared. And there's the body of Thomas Monroe and Thomas Monroe's wife saying, "That's not William Morgan, that's my husband's clothes. That's my husband." Or that's my husband. Not, they switched clothes, apparently. And so, there's Canandaigua. 1826, 9/11, Canandaigua. Read the book assigned to William Morgan about Freemasonry. You're going to have to do it if you're going to do research. So these are the links that you need to do. And we'll do William Morgan, Freemasonry PDF. And here we have archive.org, Morgan's Freemasonry Exposed and Explained. Click on that link, send you to the PDF. We'll see if it's the book or if it's somebody else talking about it. Seriously? You're going to pause here right at the end. You're just right there and you're pausing. Exposed and Explained. It's an old book. There we go. Yeah, this is the book. We would bring it up on the screen. Exposed and Explained. Effective Government by Captain William Morgan. Yep, this is it. So there's your link. That's how you do it. You do Google search. We have the technology now. Obtain that book. It goes over it for you. This was written by David Miller. It was not by William Morgan. Okay. And it explains the duties of the Master Mason. And that's important. So, you're now studying church history, as a good Mormon would do, and you decide, I'm going to study on Joseph Smith Sr. And so, somebody's liking this thing. And so, you can't find it in the beginning thing anymore. They took it out. So, early life. And you come down to the second paragraph. He moved his family to Palmyra, New York in 1816 and began to make payments on a farm located on the edge of neighboring Manchester Township. Manchester, that was what I was trying to think of yesterday. He was raised to the degree of Master Mason on May 7th, 1818 in Ontario Lodge, number 23 of Canandaigua, New York. And whoever put this in here, do not put the citation, because it says citation needed. This is well cited. We found the documents. There's books published of those who were found in the various lodges back before 1826, when the anti-Mason movement destroyed them. And so, Canandaigua, there's your connection. And so he was there. He was the Master Mason. This is what I found. Me. Nobody else, because you saw what people have found. You know, the baptisms for the dead, William Morgan and his wife. But they did not find this in 1826. September 11th. Joseph Smith, Sr. is the Master Mason. Morgan is in Canandaigua working on his book. Batavia, when you go to Google Maps, because you're supposed to do this if you're going to do the research correctly, you need to find out how far apart they are, and it's beyond a day's journey. And so, what's going on? And so these are the things you're looking for, the clues to put the pieces of the puzzle together. The people, the places, the dates, the events, all tied together. And so, yeah, reading that book, you will know exactly the role of Joseph Smith Sr. during William Morgan's arrest and fleeing of the country. Joseph Smith Sr. was a part of that. He had been in charge and orchestrated it, because that's what the book says he's supposed to do as the Master Mason. And so you don't need somebody else to reference this. This is how you do research and investigation, to figure out who done it. And so here's the bombshell that I've gone over with you. Okay, upload is complete. We have 4 minutes for end of processing. Alright. Then you get to Heber J. Grant. Or not Heber J. Grant, Heber C. Kimball. And under Heber C. Kimball, you find out, oh, he's involved in Masonry. I'm curious to find out what he's involved in Masonry for. 1823? He claims he was a Master Mason. The 3 Krefft degrees of Freemasonry in the Lodge of Victor Flats, which is now Red, Ontario County, New York. 1 year he becomes a Master Mason, Took Senior 18 years. In 1824, he sent a petition to the chapter at Canandaigua, New York, to receive the York Rites degree. That's contradiction. Degrees are Scottish Rites of Royal Ark Masonry. Now, if you did actually read through the whole thing of William Morgan, you'll learn that he swore an oath that he had been through the ranks all the way up to Royal Ark. That's what you have to do. He didn't have the documents, and so he had to swear an oath saying, yes, I have gone through the ranking to become the Royal Ark Mason, or to be petitioned for this. But here he's saying he's a Master Mason 1 year, the next year he's wanting to skip the individual ranking and become a Royal Ark Mason. His petition was accepted, was it? He says, although, as he reported, anti-Masons burned down the chapter building in Canandaigua. He's claiming the documents aren't found. Wrong. Because that citation should be in there for Senior. That's how we know he was there. And so, as a result, Heber is lying to us. We now know he's lying to us. He's not talking about Joseph Smith Sr. This was written while he was in Salt Lake City. He's lying to us. He's purposely leaving out Joseph Smith Sr. He's purposely lying about skipping ranks and being accepted by Joseph Smith Sr. in the lodge there. Because if he were a good guy, he would have no problems. Yeah, I met Joseph Smith Sr. It was awesome. You know, and I petitioned to become a Royal Ark Mason, and I swore that I had gone through the ranks, and yeah, it was totally cool. And so when they found I found the Book of Mormon from the missionaries, I immediately joined the church. It's so true, right? Wrong. He doesn't do any of that. He keeps it all a secret. After they're all dead, they've got their church now with Brigham Young in Salt Lake, and he's still keeping secrets. He's still covering up and lying to us. These are the things you need to know. When you do your research, when you listen to my videos, you will learn that I'm warning you of this church. So that's how you do it. So don't be pushing me for research on just videos here, the casual videos. Alright, so the first video is done. Sex trafficking is not as breakout as it needs to be, guys. Watch the sex trafficking video. It is sufficient enough to dismiss the church altogether. Because you can't commit crimes and claim to be true. Alright, so this one is LDS Church Secret Combinations Gaslights. LDS Church Trust in Jesus. No, that's the third one. Secret Combinations. There it is. Okay, what's this? Secret Combinations. Should we do Calamari? Is that her name? Secret Combination Calomira. Turning Japanese is for the first video. That's why that's on my mind. The vapors. So loud. Okay, and there, because I'm sure you all want to hear their conversation, right? they don't, everybody's here for themselves. That's the thing, is that they don't care about other people. They don't want to learn about other people's lives and be interested in other people's lives. It's all about their lives and interests. So you've got to be interested in them, but they have no interest in you. Alright, and then Adam on Diamond. Pay attention to the thumbnail. There's a secret message on it. Alright, and we'll put them in both of those. It's almost dinner. Go line up for dinner. So, yeah, I already had lunch at Wendy's. I had to take an emergency trip downtown today. Alright, so, next comments. Let's see. Couldn't get all of your video clips, so I'm re-listening now. Oh, okay. So, summary review. It even says summary review. Come on, back off. Alright, so I'll now comment. I'm doing a comment reply to teach you how to do this for yourself and not be dependent upon me. It will take some time, as there are two other videos being uploaded at this time. And then I got to go to the other channel and put them on there. So, yeah, we'll probably, since I'm on this channel, we'll see. Alright. And so Scott, who's using a Thunderbirds character, I recognize that. He's replying to LDS Church President gives official statement on tithing. And I don't speak on anything in there other than quote Nelson on this and put number 10. So the backstory is that the whistleblower came out and worked for Ensign Peak Advisors, which is the reserve of the tithing. And so what that means is there are 10% taken out of tithing given to Ensign Peak Advisors. They then invest that money to make more money. And so there's the stock portfolio and the regular savings account or whatever for it. And it's over $100,000. And it gains $100 billion. $100 billion. And so it gains $7 billion every year in interest, plus the stock market stuff. And so I've identified how the church has been manipulating the stock market. You sell high, buy low. Church has been doing that. They've been a part of the crashes as well as the increases. And so what happened to the money? Where did they put it? Offshore bank accounts. And so that means that 10% of 100 billion is 1 trillion. And so they get 1 trillion in tithing, or they've gotten 1 trillion in tithing. And so it doesn't cost 1 trillion for all of the buildings and temples. I did the estimate, and it's several billion. Yeah, temples are, $1 million or so. And so all together, with the daily maintenance and renovations and such, yeah, no, it's nowhere near $1 trillion. So what did they do with all that extra billions, hundreds of billions, for tithing? Because only 10% went to Ensign Peak Advisors. Yeah, offshore bank accounts. They're not hurting for money one bit. They do this with all their sources of revenue. The BYUs, they give their revenue to the church, and they have the 10% that's given to another account, and does the exact same pattern. The first presidency came out in response to the whistleblower and said, this is what we do. This is our pattern. We do it all the time. We're doing it for the second coming, which is against tax law, to be a tax-exempt status. So they confess that they're violating tax law. And the IRS still won't do anything to touch them. And, okay, so Scott's now being mean, and he's claiming I'm part of it, because I just quote Nelson. I don't give my critical analysis and review, so that ex-Mormons and those who aren't Mormon can understand. I've had to put ex-Mormons and critics in their places. You need to pay attention to all my videos. Don't assume one video explains everything about me. And so, yeah, he's being kind of mean here. He says, what creeps? You better be wearing that magic underwear, you freaks. Gotta report you. That's not cool. It's okay to be funny, even though you're misinformed. It's another thing to be abusive in your comments. And freaks is it's a harmless abuse, but it's still abuse nonetheless. You can be nice about it. You can just say, are you wearing your magic underwear? And we all understand what you mean. You don't need to add in abusive nicknames and bullying names. Yeah, okay. So now he's on the Washington, D.C. temple painting of Mormon Jesus conquering America. I told you the link. Dude, the church has a website. You should know that website. The church has a church news section on that website. That's where I go to for the information. Seriously? You want links? And he says, I'm trying to find a picture of the Washington, D.C. painting you're speaking of. Why don't you put links in your video? Where did you think I got it from? Dear God, has to be compelled in all things. So I'm gonna joke with them. If you must be compelled in all things, I tell you, it's from the church news. Dear God. And so, yes, Nelson's now the oldest apostle, so that means the church is true. It's just not essential for the church news, and yet they put it in here. Oh, they've changed it since I just showed up. They bumped down Amos C. Brown's fellowship concludes and put in new church historian and recorder begins service. Oh, Elder Kyle S. McKay. I wonder if he's David O. McKay's son. Yep, covering up church history has been passing the torch. There's another video. Let me write this down. Hold on. Let's do it on this other one. LDS Church Historian's Office passes torch of cover-ups. And I'll probably most likely change the title and whatever, but that will help me. See, I'm not putting a link on this. You know where I'm at. Psychological first aid. Dear God. Okay, so get to know the artist who made the Second Coming. I tell you this in the video. Dear God. And so there it is, standing by his painting. And you scroll down, there it is. You'll recognize that in my video. That's where I got it from. And there's the head-on one that I have in the other picture that I did. The other thumbnail I did. And there's a POV, point of view close-up. And so, yeah, I just, dear God. I mean, I didn't have Google search. Now that I know about it, I'd use it. Because I would love to have used it. Because I had to buy the book. And they're not available in the libraries. You have to go to a university. And at the university, hope that they have it. Because I'm not sure how long, when Barnes & Noble came out. But in the 2000s, I think they were available when I came back from Canada. But until that, you know, I mean, I was having to search for books. And now with the internet and Google search, it's just so much easier. And yes, I can do research a lot quicker and come up with all these videos a lot faster. And yeah, I tried to do publishing, but I'm all by myself, doing this all alone. I don't have a group of people helping me on these things. And so, yeah, it's okay, 23 minutes on that one. But, I mean, this, I don't understand why you guys, who are younger than me, who pretty much were born and raised in the Google search generation, and yet you don't know how to Google search. You know, maybe this guy is a billion years older than I am. You know, I do have a large majority of my audience that are older than me. But yeah, he's on the same video, and it's not Batman but Superman that wears the red cape. Okay, that was referring to something I said there, And you'll notice on a couple of videos recently, you will see that I put little corrections at the bottom of the screen. I make these kinds of mistakes, but I wouldn't worry about it. I don't remember what I said about this, so if you're going to refer to something I said in a video clip, good luck having me remember it. I don't memorize, I just speak. There is no script. You know, apologists have complained that I don't have a script. They have a script, and they get it all wrong. But I don't have a script, I just speak what's on my mind. I just give you my voice, and you're gonna not hearken to it. And I don't care about this. I mean, does Batwoman, did she have a red cape? She has red. She had red hair. And then the black girl who stepped in, she had the red hair too, I think. Or did she have more red in the costume? Batwoman. Okay, yeah, Ruby Rose disappeared. I've got season 3. It's being held hostage at the moment. Okay, yeah, it's Ruby who had the red hair. Alright. Can't tell from the pictures about the cape, though. Looks like it could be black. Yeah. She's got arm shields that are red, and the bat is red. And the Ruby Rose character has the red hair. Oh, here's a Kate Kane from Wikipedia. She's got the red cape, the red boots, and the red belt. And that's a painting, or yeah, painting, drawing, whatever. Yeah, here's another one. Fear of a gay Batman brought Batwoman. She's got the red cape. Yeah, there's a red cape here. So the cartoonist drawing Batwoman drew her with a red cape, but apparently CW is only doing the black cape. Yeah, here's another one. Yeah, all the artists are drawing her with red capes, but for the show they did a black cape. Just inconsequential. I'm just gonna delete that. Okay, and so sex trafficking. Warning alert. Warning alert. And we're gonna call you out, because if you're gonna be mean, we're gonna call you out. You're gonna be reported. I can tell already. He's sending me a death threat. So I'm only reporting what the law is. It's against the law to commit sex crimes. Is that complicated? Do you understand this, Mormons? Brigham Young is a sex trafficker. By law. He's a criminal. He should have been locked up. Those women needed to be freed. And Dan Billingsley, 52 minutes ago. Hey buddy, you probably don't even know you are on thin ice. Really? Are you Tiancum's javelin? Blaspheme the Lord and receive your punishment. That's a death threat. Because his Lord does not exist. He has to carry out the threat that he's talking about, passing it off to the Lord. So this is a death threat. Anybody know Dan Billingsley? He hides. He's got an orange D. There's the cops. Get them involved, huh? But nope, we'll report this to... Oops, let's keep this for the records. Dan Billingsley sends me a death threat to defend criminal activity. You cannot justify crime with Jesus or whoever God you have. You can't do it. So, wow, I really did well yesterday on this channel. Cool. And I'm doing well today so far. Cool. And it's at the 475 for sex trafficking. Not good enough. We need over 1,000. We need to panic the church. We need to, they stopped it. They froze this. LDS Church restores Nephi visiting Joseph Smith in history. They froze this. They don't want me getting views. And they're panicked now. I'm getting views now. It's all thrown out of whack. They must be wanting me dead. Oh, right. They did do the other death threat, didn't they? I was supposed to be evicted on that Sunday. But yeah, I went on a date with Karen that night. Came back and they said, oh, you're not here. Oh, you didn't check in. What do you mean I didn't check in? I know exactly that I checked in, and I know exactly who, and I know the whole scenario of how it played out. And the next day, she gave me a dirty stink eye, blaming me for what she failed to do. They were going to evict me and claim that it was through negligence on my part. So, that's how corrupt this whole system is here. They want me dead. They're not satisfied. Alrighty, so I think this is long enough in and of itself. 51 minutes. Oh my god. Yeah, so if there is comments on the other one, we'll do a part 2. Otherwise, this is it.